The Northern Blues and Wallowa Gravel Loop, otherwise known as the Nubwiggle, is a 465-mile Pacific Northwest route that starts and ends in Walla Walla, Washington. The route climbs 42,000 feet through arid farmlands, forested canyons, and remote mountain wilderness. The route was designed by Phil Neumann, an entrepreneur and Walla Walla local, as part of his mission to map big bikepacking routes from his front door. I chose this route because I miss the Pacific Northwest. Since moving away 2 years ago, I've never felt more grateful to have grown up in such a beautiful part of the country. And what better way to reconnect with it than on my bike? I'm excited to take you with me bikepacking the Nubwiggle.
These guys like to howl. Right? Oh. Nice. Those are good howls, dogs. That was great. My name is Phil Neumann, and I'm an entrepreneur based in Walla Walla, Washington. What got me into bikepacking, really, it was the idea of being able to leave out the front door and go explore just like really large expanses of open country.
All right, I'm in Walla Walla, Washington to ride the Northern Blues and Wallowa Gravel Loop. There's my bike behind me, the Priority Bruiser, and looking forward to this route. It's 465 miles, mostly gravel, mostly farm roads, and didn't get too much sleep last night. All the nerves always kind of keep me awake, but I know as soon as I start riding, I'm gonna feel great.
The Nubwiggle explores an expanse of land in the Blue Mountains, and then with the highlight of going around the Wallowas. It really ties together a bunch of places that my wife Alyssa and I have enjoyed over the years, from car camping or going off to go to trailheads, to go backpacking.
Today I'm leaving Walla Walla and riding north, about 60 miles to the Tucannon campground. I'm looking forward to the pristine gravel and rolling hills on the outskirts of town. This ride quickly reminds me of everything that's wonderful about the Pacific Northwest.
So as some of you pointed out in my last video, I was wearing my debrim backwards. So thank you for helping me correct that so I don't look like a goofball. Now is as good a time as ever to talk about my new bike. So you might have noticed I'm not riding the 600X. This is the Priority Bruiser, and it's pretty similar to the 600X, but different in some important ways. You'll notice the rigid fork. I really wanted something that was better for gravel and farm roads that would roll a little bit faster. So I was really hyped on the rigid fork. I decided to go with smaller tires than I typically ride. I typically ride like 2.6 mezcals, but I'd put the 2.25s on here. It has the same pinion gearbox like the 600X, and I am noticing that it just seems to roll a little bit faster. It's nice to not have that big heavy fork on a ride like this.
Dayton is the first town you pass through after leaving Walla Walla. There was a car show going on when I arrived.
almost every day you're going through at least one really charming small town with people that are really interested to hear where you came from and where you're going, and tell you, wow, can't believe you've come all this way.
Okay, so I hardly ever drink alcohol, but I see a lot of people bring these on bikepacking trips. So I decided to mix up some guava juice and some vodka and put it in here. Let's see how it tastes. Not bad. It's funny because there's something about sitting on the sidewalk outside of Circle K, taking pulls off a flask, that just feels like a new low for me. I'm leaving Dayton. I'm in a 14-mile climb right now, but it's all rideable. I'm doing okay. And man, is it beautiful around here.
The highlights of the ride for me are wildland camping each night, and you have an option in most cases to do campground or something dispersed nearby.
All right, I think we found a spot. It's about 8 p.m. Rode from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Long day, and I had the brilliant idea of putting a flask of liquor in the pannier with my jackets, and it was not sealed correctly, so it leaked all over my jackets, and yeah, but otherwise, good day. I went 65 miles today, and my body's feeling good, but I gotta say I'm a little worried about my butt. I should definitely have at least gotten a new saddle or worn chamois shorts. I've never used this saddle before, so it was a risk to do this with no chamois, and I'm a little worried about it getting worse. Okay, so this is my accommodation for the night, and it ain't the Ritz-Carlton, but it will do. I have a nice Katabatic 22-degree sleeping quilt, so I'm gonna be toasty tonight. This is what it looks like inside. One of the cool things about one-person tents is they do stay a little bit warmer than bigger tents. So I'm gonna be cozy tonight. I know it.
Everything's by running water, so there's always a place in the evening to be hanging out by water.
Today's a 60-mile ride to Troy, Oregon. I'm looking forward to Troy. It's a tiny little fishing community with cold beer and great campsites. But first, I'm facing the biggest climb of the whole ride today. 30 miles and about 5,000 feet. My butt hasn't been feeling too good, so I rigged my camp towel onto the saddle, and I'm hoping for the best.
The hardest parts of the route, it's definitely the incessant climbing.
Yeah, 41,000 feet.
It just goes and goes, and I'm sure you'll end up with some more than that.
Really?
Based on the magic of.
But it's all very rideable, right?
Yeah, it is rideable. Every day is doable.
Okay, so I've applied a very generous amount of butt butter, and I've taken some athletic tape and also taped my ass. So we're gonna cross our fingers and hope that that helps. Like Jocko Willink would say, your ass hurts because you thought it was a good idea to ride on a new saddle? Good.
That's it. 30-mile climb. Must have been 5,000 or 6,000 feet. Looking forward to this long descent now.
I was so scared I broke my camera, but luckily there wasn't a scratch on it.
Alright, we made it to Troy, and the Troy store had cold beer and a wonderful camp spot tonight. I'm so stoked. I can even get in the water if I want to. Yes! This tastes like the sweetest nectar after a long day riding my bike. Ah, so good. This is so sick. I get to listen to the sound of the river all night, get clean. There's nothing like bike packing to make you grateful for a good camp spot. When I saw this, I was so stoked. Good morning. Didn't sleep very well last night. My sleeping pad is not retaining air, and guess I shouldn't be keeping one of these for more than 2 years. So I need to replace that. Today I'm gonna make Losteen, and kind of hoping I can find a hotel there so I can get a decent night's sleep. The next couple days afterwards, I'll just have to tolerate it. It stays full for about 4 or 5 hours, and then I have to refill it. I'm still feeling pretty excited to ride today. My butt's feeling good, and the climbing today shouldn't be nearly as bad as it was yesterday, so hopefully it's a good day. I'm leaving Troy, feeling the fatigue a little bit, but it's not terrible. Got some food, got some chicken noodle soup this morning, and 50 or so miles to Losteen.
I'm not gonna make Losteen today. I decided to ride 45 miles to a town called Wallowa, where I could get a hotel and use the bathroom to locate the hole in my sleeping pad. The route today has me riding through a beautiful river valley and climbing about 5,000 feet. Most of the day was spent in the forest, enjoying a symphony of bird noises, babbling creeks, and gravel crunching under my tires.
I have an audience behind me. They're like all looking at me at once. Go away, cows. All right, so I was just coming down the mountain here. I'm gonna stay in Wallowa tonight, and I met another bike packer. Doug is from Salt Lake, and he's also doing the Northern Blues. How's it been going thus far?
It's been really good. It's been dusty. The climbs have been steep, but the locals are really nice. The scenery has been incredible, going from the steep Eagle Cap Mountain down to the desert and farmland. It's been really incredible so far.
Yeah. What's been the highlight?
Ooh. I think the highlight might have been seeing Hell's Canyon coming up, and you're in this dense forest, and then all of a sudden you see some light behind the trees and you look over and 4,000 foot drop off below you. I think that was the coolest.
Nice, man. Are you camping tonight?
Camping tonight, gonna try to make it to a little place called Troy. See if I can get a little further past that. I heard there's a big climb right after, so we'll try to get some good sleep there and see where things go.
Yeah. And what got you into bike packing, Doug?
That's a really good question. I've been bikepacking for 8 years now, and I just really love that I can carry all my things on my bike, and I can set my bike down. I can go walk around and not have a big backpack on. And you can see things a little bit, you can see more stuff than you can backpacking, but not as much as you can with a car. And I just love the pace. And I love that most days you get to stop in a town if you do the right route, and then you can get up into some crazy wild places at the same time. So I don't know, it just feels like really integrated into my way of living, and I'll keep doing it for as long as I can.
Yeah. I mean, the best way to experience a place is at 10 miles an hour.
Yeah,
So
that's how I feel too.
thank you, Doug.
All right, so I am in, there's a dog over there that's yelling at me. I'm in Wallowa, and I think that a bike shop in La Grande is going to drive me a new saddle tomorrow, which is amazing. That's going to solve the problems with my butt. I took a pee just now and didn't really like the color of my pee. It was kind of dark and scary looking. So I figure if I can get the saddle replaced and get a pair of chamois shorts, I should be good to go. The rest of my body feels like it's in pretty good shape. And yeah, I'm just gonna go grab some food from the food mart and post up here, get some rest tonight, eat 1,000,000 calories, drink some beer, and be ready to go in the morning. All right, so I have fixed my two biggest problems. I put I inflated my sleeping pad last night, put it in the bathtub, and I was able to find the leak and patch it. And then I got Mark at Mountain Works Bicycle in La Grande to drive an hour out to Wallowa to bring me a new saddle and a pair of chamois. So my problems got fixed, and I can't wait to ride today. Okay, so I got all set up with a new saddle thanks to Mark at Mountain Works. Thank you so much, Mark. You are a lifesaver.
Welcome. Good luck on your journey.
All right, we're good to go.
I would not have been able to complete this ride without Mark's help. If you're ever in LeGrand, make sure to visit Mountain Works. Today I'm riding 60 miles from Wallowa to the Imnaha River campground. And I can't tell you how happy I am that I was able to fix my sleeping pad last night. It's hard to enjoy bikepacking if you can't get a decent night's sleep.
Right now, this is exactly why I spend so many hours and days of my life thinking about and preparing for bike trips. It's just amazing. There's snow-capped mountains beside me. It's like 72 degrees, roads smooth. I feel so good right now. And it's this feeling that makes it all worth it. All of that discomfort over the last couple days. Got my first mechanical of this whole route. Belt slipped off. Should be pretty easy to fix though. And good as new. Took about 2 seconds. Nice work.
My one piece of advice for people riding this route for the first time would be just to not move too fast. You know, there's time when you're in town to like have a meal, you know, go to the tavern, like have a burger and have a beer at lunch or something like that. Like, you know, sit in a park, lay down in the grass, things like that. These are all moments that you don't get if you're going for a fastest time.
One thing I always talk about, and I wish you, the viewer, could experience, is the smell of the forest. It just smells like pine and fresh water, and like life is thriving here. That'll do it. Best day of the trip thus far, for sure. I had so much fun today. I think I went 90 miles. I started in Wallowa, I ended here. 90 miles, pretty solid day. Beautiful forest right now. I have a table and a river nearby, so I'm super stoked on this camp spot.
Camping was definitely one of the highlights of this trip. For the most part, I look forward to camping a lot more than sleeping in a bed. And today, I'm leaving Imnaha and riding 50 miles. I'm looking forward to passing through halfway. where I'll resupply before the final climb up over the Blue Mountains.
Creating this route helped me communicate how special this region is to the rest of the world. So when we first moved here in 2013, we really didn't expect to fall in love with the Blue Mountains. They're just not, I mean, for most people, it's like a bump that you go over on the way to the Wallowas or Idaho, or like, you know, it's not really the focal point of adventure. And yeah, we kind of had a similar feeling when we first got here, but we just realized as soon as you get into the Blues and you get off the highway, there's these rugged canyons, and it's incredibly remote in so much of it, and you don't see people. There's like, seeing people becomes a treat. It was very common, especially when we first moved here, and really not much less common now to, you know, get to a trailhead, go spend 4 hours on a hike, come back to the car, and leave, and not see a single other person. The town that I had never been to on the last trip was Halfway, and that was a real treat, dropping into Halfway.
All right, so I made it to Halfway. I got a mushroom Swiss burger and a beer. First real meal in about 24 hours, and super excited to eat this. And then I got 10 more miles to McBride Campground. Looking forward to it. Alright, looks like this will do. Beautiful spot, nice flowing creek. I went 50 miles today. I think I did 5,000 or 6,000 feet of vert. Another great day. Body feels pretty good, butt's feeling good, and I think I have 2 more days. One of the things I love about doing these trips, doing bike packing, is that it's a junk food extravaganza. I always tell people, like, you can basically just eat whatever you want, not have to worry about it, because if you're riding your bike for, I don't know, 10 hours a day for 5, 6, 7 days straight, it's going to be really hard to out-eat that calorie deficit. If you want to eat whatever you want, just ride your bike all day. It's pretty rewarding.
Today's the final climb over the Blue Mountains. My goal is to make it 45 miles to Catherine Creek for one final campsite before I drop back down to La Grande. This day was one of the most scenic of the whole ride. You spend most of the time riding pristine gravel roads alongside a river. And even though my butt hurts and I haven't showered in 4 days, I find myself not wanting the journey to end. These adventures make me feel whole, and I can't express how grateful I am to have discovered this hobby.
One more significant climb of the day, 3.2 miles, 6% grade average. And I can't say enough good things about the pinion gearbox and Gates carbon belt drive. It really helps to have that 600% gear range when you're climbing like this. It's almost all rideable to me, thanks to that gear range. It is time for my second package of Pop-Tarts today. And I'm really looking forward to this battered and beat up strawberry Pop-Tart. Mmm, yummy. All right, this looks like a good spot. I think this is Catherine Creek, so I got some water nearby. Did about 40 or 50 miles today, 5,000 or 6,000 feet of vert, and I got one more day on the Northern Blues and Wallowa gravel loop. And I just got to say a big thanks to Phil Neumann. This route has been incredible, and I'm excited to hit La Grande tomorrow.
The final day. I'm headed through some places that have special significance to me today. Union and Cove, Oregon, before the final stretch back to La Grande. Back in 2021, I did the first and only bike trip I've ever done with another person. It was my girlfriend at the time, and she had never ridden a bike more than 5 miles. Together, we rode from La Grande to Baker City and ended in Cove, after more than 100 miles. I was so proud of her for making it that far, and the memory of facing that challenge together is something I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
Goats, what's up? Why are y'all looking at me funny? I don't like the way you're looking at me.
Okay, so I made it to Union. I'm almost done. I got about 30 miles left, but I decided to get a breakfast burrito and a chai tea. So I'm going to enjoy this and then crank the rest of this ride out.
We made it! I love this town. It's a very cute farming town in eastern Oregon.
The Cove Drive-In is a great stop to fuel up on burgers and milkshakes. Passing through small towns like this always leaves me with mixed emotions. The people are so welcoming and nice. Life seems much slower paced. But it's always clear that the towns have seen better days. The pandemic hit this region of Oregon really hard, and I'm grateful that places like the Cove Drive-In still exist. I'm cutting this ride a day short because I have to get back home to Texas, but the full loop continues another 65 miles and ends in Walla Walla.
I'm 5 miles out from the Grand. My dad is waiting there to pick me up to go back to Portland, where I'm from, where my parents still live. And we're about to begin the hardest part of the adventure, mentally at least, which is, of course, going back to work. Hey, Dad.
Hey.
400 miles later.
Wow. Oh my God. Here, let me hold this.
We're done.
Oh my God, this thing weighs a ton. Jesus. Wow. Congratulations.
Thanks for picking me up.
You bet. But I'll never come here again. Okay. Good.
And that's the end.